Hey guys, in this video I wanted to make another tier list while I'm working on a DPS guide for people trying to rank up in this game. And I know I already made a tier list, but I think that was a pre-ranked and very early viewpoint from the game. And now that I've played the game a lot more and I've reached top 500 and I'm currently GM3, I do have a better perspective on the game now as a higher level player, and I've played the game a lot more. The meta has kind of sorted itself out, and I have a better, I think everybody has a better understanding of how the game works now. So I wanted to make an updated tier list for all of you guys, and you can let me know in the comments if you agree with me or if you don't. There are going to be some controversial takes in here, and I know people in the comments might flame me, but anyways, let's jump right into it. Let's start at the top at Adam Warlock. We're gonna put Adam Warlock in A tier. Now, sometimes I feel like he could be B tier. Depends on what you're fighting. If you're not fighting like a heavy dive comp, I think he's a solid here. He does great damage, pretty good healing. His utility is really strong. His shift ability allows your team to stay alive. It's like a little mini ultimate. It has like a 20-something cooldown. He's a very strong character if played well, but you need to be playing him kind of like Zenyatta, doing a lot of damage. But if you're pumping out damage, you can really be like a third DPS while healing and sustaining your team. Now, the first controversial take here, man, I know people are going to give me shit for this, but I legitimately think that Black Panther is S tier. And I don't want to hear anybody telling me, you know, like I'm not high enough rated or I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm telling you guys, if you are playing this game at a top 500 level and you fight a one-trick Black Panther main who is like top 500, let me repeat that. Top 500, he can legitimately 1v6 your team on repeat. He will kill your entire backline and get out every time. He is the only character in the game where I feel the need to counter pick him. Like, I don't play Namor ever. I'm a hit scan player. But if I'm playing into a Black Panther and I can tell that like my supports are kind of getting, you know, not using their crowd control. I mean, to be fair to them, it's really hard to hit him with your crowd control. But if they're like not able to keep people alive, they're not predicting his engage. It takes a lot of awareness, and a lot of even top 500 support players don't have it. I mean, you have to be quick too. You have to understand where he's at and react instantly, or you're dead. But yeah, I think if he's played well, he's S tier, God tier, probably one of the strongest DPS in the game to take over, up there with Hela in my opinion. But at least with Hela, honestly, she's strong, but there's only been a few who I'm like, wow, your aim on Hela is God tier. You can carry the game. Most of the time, every time I fight a Black Panther main, they're killing everybody. I don't think he's as hard to play as an aim hero, and he gets a ton of value. You have to counter pick him, or you just die on repeat. So yeah, I just want to throw that out there. Let me make this bigger. Captain America, I'm gonna put him in B tier. He might deserve A tier. I just don't see him very often. I think he just gets overshadowed. Like, I don't think he's a bad character. I just think that there's other characters that are better, but he's he's a strong hero if played correctly. Doctor Strange, and by the way, S tier is like meta. Like, you can see people banning these, and I know people might be like, Black Panther? People are banning Black Panther? Yes, legitimately, people ban Black Panther. So, I mean, sometimes if I get shit on by a Black Panther main, 3 games in a row, I'm perma-banning him all day. Every other game after that is getting a Black Panther ban, I don't care. But yeah, I'm gonna put him in S tier. Groot. Oh, well, let me talk about Doctor Strange, I'm sorry. Doctor Strange is extremely strong. A very good Doctor Strange does a ridiculous amount of damage. His ability to contest high ground is there. He has a big shield if he's trying to contest main. He has a great ultimate to single-handedly win a fight. He's just an all-around great character. Tanky, mobile, damage, great abilities. All around just God tier hero. S tier hard meta. People sometimes ban him. Groot, I'm going to put a little bit lower. I'm going to put him in A tier. The reason I put Groot lower is I think that Doctor Strange's ultimate is a bit stronger because you're crowd controlled, but you literally can't play the game during it. He can contest high ground. Groot does have a little bit more mobile shielding, so while he can't go up and contest high ground himself, he can wall off angles, but I just think Doctor Strange is a little bit better. He might deserve S tier. I'm going to put him A+. Okay, A+. Hela S tier. I mean, if you don't live under a rock, I mean, Hela is really, really strong. Crazy character. I'm going to put her up there. I think Black Panther I'm going to put near the bottom of S tier because you have to play him. But Hela, obviously, just a lot of damage, a lot of value, insane. Now, Hulk is an interesting one because I know a lot of people don't think he's good, like D or C. You probably don't see him unless you're near the top of the leaderboard. But when you fight a good Hulk, I think he's better than Captain America. But he's better only in a situation where he needs to contest off angles. Like a very good Hulk, I'm gonna put him in the bottom of A tier. Like he can contest heights, he can contest off angles, he can pressure the back line if he needs to, he can push off a DPS trying to flank. He does so much so quickly, and I know he's kind of a meme, but I'm gonna put him A tier. I just think he's strong. I think if played well, he's strong. And he has such a big HP pool, he can be really annoying to deal with. If played well. You don't fight a lot of good ones, so if you're fighting a bad one, he's down here. Good one, I'm just gonna put an A tier. Iron Man. An Iron Man on his own is not very good, but an Iron Man with the Hulk team up is god tier. Like a Iron Man one trick with the Gamma Beam is extremely strong and can just terrorize the game. I'm gonna put him B tier just because he relies on a team up to get value, but he's a strong hero in my opinion. Jeff, you know, I'll put Jeff in A tier. I mean, he might deserve B, but I think his ultimate is hard to counter. I mean, you can't counter it, but it's hard to react to quick enough. His healing output is good. His mobility is strong. He's hard to dive. He's an all-around good hero. I think if you can't play like Luna or Mantis, he's a good option. Loki. I'm putting Loki in like A+ tier here. Just because a good Loki not only has like an invulnerability, very high damage, very hard to kill. Like if you're trying to play dive into Loki, he's hard to kill. Great healing output, great damage. Like in my opinion, he could be contesting for S tier like hard meta, but you just don't see a lot of people play him because he's a little bit more difficult to play. But I'm telling you, if you fight a one-trick Loki player at the top of the leaderboard, they are terrifying. They will literally go invisible and just kill you in the backline for free every time. Think about this, okay? You're playing, I don't care what DPS character you're playing. All of a sudden, you just see clones being spawned in right behind your character model, body blocking you so you could barely move. And then the Loki appears behind his clones. So when you try to shoot him, you're shooting his clones instead. And let's say magically he hasn't already killed you while he's absorbing all your damage because of his clones. Even if you're about to hit him, he goes invulnerable with his clone. So then you not only can't even do damage to him, so then you have to break the freaking little invulnerability stone thing. And then he doesn't even have to aim. His ability, like his primary fire is an AoE. So he aims at your feet. So no matter how you strafe, he's doing full damage to you while his clones are killing you. And he can go invisible. He is an amazing 1v1 character. If played correctly, Loki is S tier to me. But in general, I'm just going to put him in A+ tier. He's kind of like Groot. Like I feel like Groot could be an S tier if played extremely well. But in general, I'd say A+. Like all around, like Loki is insane. Like really good if played correctly. Luna Snow, I mean, hard meta. Her damage is good. She has crowd control. She has movement, or at least the ability to rotate around the map fast. She doesn't have like in combat movement. Great healing and an amazing ultimate. Literally nothing you wouldn't want in a support. If played with Mantis, it feels like nothing dies unless you have like a hell on the team. And that's why I kind of don't like the pick and ban system, is when I play DPS, right? Every meta DPS is banned, and then it kind of becomes a snooze fest where it's really hard to kill things unless you have like a really good Black Panther player, really good Magic player. These type of characters that can get value but are a little trickier to play are good. But because the support cast isn't usually banned, it's really hard to get kills into Luna or Mantis. So yeah, Luna god tier, really strong character. Magic I'm gonna put up there in A tier too. I know A tier is pretty freaking big. I think Magic is up there with Black Panther. I think Black Panther is harder to kill, and does a ridiculous amount of AoE damage. Like he can kill 3 people and get out for free. Magic can't really do that, but Magic's ability to be kind of elusive like Black Panther, be tankier than Black Panther, and also like instantly kill anybody she attacks is crazy. I'll put a clip in the background of me fighting a Magic one trick. Basically, if you get near them, you literally explode instantly. She can get in, get out. She's a little bit tanky for a DPS character, so great hero. A tier if like with Black Panther, if you have to learn to play them, but if played well, she's really strong. Magneto. I think Magneto's going in S tier too. Like S tier is reserved for like hard meta. I don't know. I'm gonna put him in A tier. Okay, I'm gonna put him with Groot. Um, he does what Strange does, right? I think he's a little bit like his shielding is impenetrable. Like you can't break his shield, kind of like with Doctor Strange. But and also his ultimate is a little bit more situational. I think that's the only thing that makes Doctor Strange really better is like his mobility is better than Magneto and his ultimate is better than Magneto. So yeah, I think he's a great off tank, or even sometimes a great main tank. If you are solo tanking, Magneto's good too. But I just think Doctor Strange kind of does everything you want a tank to do on his own a lot of the time. So I think, yeah, Doctor Strange is better, but Magneto's extremely strong as well. Mantis, S tier, up there with Luna. Basically the same thing. Crowd control, extremely high damage, great healing output, fight winning ultimate. Literally like Luna Snow, but a projectile version of her. Extremely strong, probably does more raw damage because her headshot multiplier is so crazy. So I think Mantis leans a little bit more into damage than Luna, and Luna leans a little bit more into healing, but they kind of fit the same archetype. Like they're just a little bit different. They excel in different situations, but both S tier, amazing characters, really do everything you want. Moon Knight, A tier is going to be fat, man. A tier is going to be fat. I think, I mean, maybe that is a showing that that the balance is pretty good, but outside of meta is like definitely a step above everything else. But I mean, Moon Knight, if played well, again, I'm talking everything in this tier list is you're played well. Moon Knight gets a ton of value. His Ankh can shred and insta-kill people because it can knock you up. He does AoE damage non-stop. He can get to high ground. He can rotate a little bit quicker than a lot of other heroes. Very good brawl hero, and if you can play him extremely well, he's extremely strong. You see a lot of iffy Moon Knight players, but if you fight a good one, he's up there. Just because he's a little bit more easy to pick up, I'm going to put him in front of Magic. Namor, A tier, like I said, is going to be fat, boys. Like A tier is like if any of the characters above like an S tier or band, you play A tier. That's basically what I gather. I almost want to put Hulk and Jeff one step lower because I feel like A is going to be too fat. I think they're like A minus, maybe B plus. So, you know, for the sake of this, I'm going to put, just because I want to have, you know, A and B tier just a little bit differentiated, I'm going to put them a little lower just because I think they're like A minus, bordering B, maybe B plus. So I'm just going to put them in B to make this a little bit easier to digest and kind of see the kind of the gap in strength. But yeah, Namor is extremely strong. He's very good if you fight like any dive. If you're fighting dive, you pick Namor. He can save you more than pretty much any other DPS. He has a get out of jail free card with his orb, which he can also be healed in. His turrets deal a crap load of damage, and because Luna Snow is basically permanently on your team, and she's not banned all too often at the higher ranks, I think he can use his little slowing octopus that the team up gives him with Luna. And he can be a great anti-dive character. Like if you pick Black Panther or Magic into me, I don't care that I'm a hit scan player. I am going to play Namor, and I'm going to sit near my supports or on high ground and just put a bunch of turrets up. And if you ever try to fight me, I'm going to kill you. You try to go after my supports, I'm going to kill you. So he's great in a lot of situations. And even if you're not fighting dive, his poke damage is ridiculous too if you can hit your shots. So I'm putting him A tier. He's strong. Penny, I'm going to put Penny in B tier with Hulk. If played well, Penny can be good, but she's very map dependent, I think, kind of like Hulk. I think that's why they're B tier. On maps that they're good on, they're A+, you know? Like, any type of congested map, Penny can be very good on because her mines and her little spider bot thing can deny a lot of space, or she can even protect your backline from dive if you're fighting dive. So yeah, I'm going to put her in B tier. Very strong in the right situation, but she's very situational. Rocket, I'm gonna put him in B tier as well. I don't know, man. Do I even want to put Rocket in B tier? I might want to put him in C tier. I think Rocket is good if you have a team up with like a Punisher or Bucky who are good, but on his own, I feel like Rocket just, his healing output isn't that good. His damage is hard to pull off. I mean, he does have a revive, which is good, but his ultimate really isn't that strong. I just feel like I don't know. He requires a team up, maybe kind of like Iron Man to be good. So, but I think Iron Man can just straight up crap on your entire team. Rocket can't really do that. I think Rocket, yeah, I'm gonna put him in C tier. He just can't really take over a game. Like B tier is like you're good still, you know, situational but good. Rocket, I'm just like eh. Scarlet Witch, I'm gonna put there too. Really doesn't at the high level do all that much. I think that her damage output isn't that good. Her ultimate is you can just straight up kill her out of it. She's good if you're getting dove a lot and you can't play anything else, but I think you just basically pick any other DPS other than her. But yeah. Spider-Man I'm gonna put in bottom of B tier. I think the thing that makes Spider-Man worse than like Magic or Black Panther is he's very, very map dependent. And in order to get a lot of value, he struggles a lot to the point where like if you're on a map that's very congested, he has a hard time using his mobility effectively. He can one-shot people in the backline, which makes him strong, but he requires a lot to pull off. Like if you just learn Black Panther, I mean, Black Panther will just do AoE one-shot potential, killing your entire backline on any map, whereas, you know, Spider-Man's a very map dependent, can't really do the same amount of things Black Panther can. Star-Lord, I'm gonna put Star-Lord like, you know, near the other B+ heroes, which I'm gonna put like here. I think if Star-Lord is played well on maps that are, you know, there's verticality to them, he can be strong. I think he's hard to pull off. I don't know, he does need some work, but I think on maps where he can play high ground, he's actually quite strong. But again, B tier is situational type good hero, so I think because he's situational, I'm gonna put him in B+ tier. Storm, I'm gonna put her in C tier along with the other heroes here. I think I have seen a really good Storm player. There's only like one, but I have seen him. His name starts with like a W or something. She can be good. Her ultimate is extremely strong if used correctly. She has team utility, but I think she just takes a lot to pull off. She doesn't have that same like out of ultimate kill pressure that like things like Hela have. So I think they do need to fix her raw damage maybe and make her less of an ult bot and more of a you know, a better DPS, kind of up there with Iron Man maybe. Punisher, I'm gonna put Punisher like near Hulk, B+, maybe A-. I'm gonna put him in B+. I think the thing with Punisher that makes him not as good as other A tier heroes is that he doesn't have a lot of like kill pressure outside of his shotgun. And with your shotgun, you're putting yourself in danger. Your movement abilities are clunky. You can't use them reactively. If you're getting dove, you just die, and you're fat and slow. And you do have a shotgun that kills people, but you also just die. So I think if they buffed his AR to make him a better at that mid-range, then he would even out, maybe go an A+ tier. But right now, because you rely on your shotgun to get a lot of kills, and you put yourself in danger when you use your shotgun a lot of the time, you need a pocket practically. He's just kind of situational. Don't get me wrong, I am a hit scan player. I play Punisher whenever, you know, they ban Psylocke or Hela. But I mean, I just, compared to like Hela or Psylocke, Punisher just doesn't have the same kill pressure all game like they do. And his ultimate is counterable. Thor, I'm gonna put Thor up there with Hulk too. B tier is looking a little bit fatter than A tier. But yeah, he can be strong. His team up is pretty good with Hela. Hela can revive him, so he can like die, and then get revived. So if you have a Hela, he's probably like A+ tier, just because if you have a good Hela, she can like revive you and you can play a little bit more aggressively. But I think he's a little bit harder to pull off than like something like Groot or Magneto to get the same value. But he's a strong hero. Like if you fight a really good Thor player, kind of like Hulk, he can control a lot of space and dive and do all kinds of crazy stuff. Venom, I think I'm gonna put Venom in front of Hulk and Thor as basically the dive tank. Just because I think his mobility is better, his sustainability is better, and he does a lot of damage as well. I just think he's better than like Hulk if played correctly, I think they kind of do the same thing almost, but maybe I just don't understand them enough. But I do think when I see Venom, like a Venom one trick, I'm more scared of than a Hulk one trick. And just because I feel like Venom can just get in, out, kill you, it's pretty terrifying. Bucky, I'm gonna put Bucky in A+ tier. Here, like maybe in front of the tanks. I think Bucky can be really good, but he's a tad bit situational. Where if you're fighting like Poke, he can get dominated. He has to be playing with his front line, but he does a ridiculous amount of damage. And unlike Punisher, he does have crowd control, and his ultimate is a lot harder to deal with than Punisher's ult, in my opinion. So I think Bucky is definitely A+, like strong damage. Does take a little bit to get used to, but in general, he's just really, really strong. Hawkeye, we're gonna put Hawkeye in S tier. I'm gonna put him in front of Black Panther and up behind the supports. I think Hawkeye, his one-shot potential should not be in the game. It's frustrating. Like Black Widow doesn't have one-shot potential, man. Like take his one-shot potential out of the game and like buff his E. His E is kind of dog water, but like I hate fighting Hawkeye just because I don't like being one-shot and a hero shooter. Nerf that and buff other parts of his kit. But in general, yeah, Hawkeye I've played well is terrifying. He does a lot of damage to tanks, fast fire rate, one-shot potential, high DPS, like crazy hero. I've played well. He can take over a game like hella. Psylocke, I'm gonna put in front of Hawkeye. Psylocke is a hit scan, which I play. I think she's very scary if played well. Her ultimate is very, very strong, probably more so than every other DPS ultimate in the game, maybe. I have to go through all of them, but at least in the S tier, I think her ultimate is the strongest because you can like kill the backline. You have to time it well. You have to keep track of like Luna and Mantis's ultimate in order to pop your ult, but it is strong. And a quick note for any of you people who play Psylocke, if Mantis pops ultimate, but she's kind of alone, I've done this so many times, like if you ult on top of a Mantis alone and then she reactively presses ult to try to survive, you can kill her through her ult if she's the only one getting hit by Psylocke ult. So yeah, that's an interaction I think I might as well mention. But yeah, I think Psylocke, great assassin, terrifying if played well, very strong hero. And I think the thing that makes her stronger than a lot of melee is that she has ranged capability, allowing her to do damage from relative safety more so than like other DPS heroes that might struggle to do damage. Squirrel Girl, I'm going to put him at the bottom of B tier. I think she can be good on very, very congested maps. Like any map, I forget what it's called, like the Venom, the symbiote map. Like there are certain parts of the map where it's very congested, where you can get a lot of value with her just by spamming a choke. She's kind of like Junkrat, but she's very situational and her ultimate's dog water. So she loses a lot, but I don't think she's Storm bad. I think she does have a situation where she might be strong. Black Widow, I know on my original tier list I put her in S tier. I thought she would, man. I was a Black Widow main. I was winning a lot of games, good win rate in quick play, and I was like, man, she could be strong. And I remember in my tier list I was like, yeah, I think she, like, Hawkeye is a worse Black Widow. Nope, Black Widow is a worse Hawkeye. She doesn't have a one-shot like Hawkeye. Slower fire rate for some reason as Hawkeye. She can't get lucky headshots like a Hawkeye spamming a choke point like he can. Her ultimate is probably worse than the Hawkeye's, I'm going to be real. Her anti-dot, like her E ability, I think is stronger than Hawkeye's because it does have a stun component to it, which does allow her to turn around a situation, unlike a Hawkeye. But I mean, Hawkeye, if he knocks you back, he can kill you. Black Widow, it's more like she can set you up to be killed by her team, or maybe her, depending on how she plays it. But in general, I mean, I don't want them to give her one shot like Hawkeye. I don't want that in the game. But yeah, she's just not it. And the higher and higher ranked I went, the more people started actively like trolling me if I picked Black Widow. Like people would rage at me if I picked Black Widow. It's funny. Probably more so than Storm. Like I bet if I picked Storm, people would be less mad at me than if I picked Black Widow. Actually funny. Iron Fist, I'm putting him B-. I know a lot of lower elo people probably think, oh my god, he's S tier, he's just diving our backline and we're dead. If you play the game correctly, you use your crowd control correctly, and you have a team that's aware, he just cannot get value. I think compared to like Magic or Black Panther, the things that make them better than him are that their kill pressure is literally the same, if not better. Like if you find a good Magic player, you will get one shot in the back before you can react, quicker than Iron Fist can. Black Panther, same thing, but Black Panther can kill 3 people before you blink, because all of his abilities are AoE. But Iron Fist, he doesn't have the same mobility as like Magic or Black Panther. He doesn't have like the AoE potential of like a Black Panther. His mobility isn't as strong. I just think he would need more mobility. Like he needs 2 charges of his shift, I think, in order to be meta. Like A+ tier. If they gave him another shift charge, so he could use 2, kind of like Psylocke Dash, he might be strong now, because he could enter with his shift, beat the shit out of you, and then shift out, and then heal. But as of right now, like he just beats the shit out of you. And if he used shift to engage, he's dead. And if he uses shift not to engage, he doesn't have that knockup. He still has very high damage, but I don't know. He just doesn't have the kill pressure like a Black Panther, if I'm going to be real. Cloak and Dagger. I'm going to put Cloak and Dagger probably in B+ tier, or like B, maybe middle of the pack B. I think she's kind of like Jeff, where like they're good. I'm not mad if you pick them, but they ain't Loki. Like I feel like Loki is better than them if you're talking off meta support picks, just because I feel like his abilities are better. And like Cloak and Dagger ultimate is okay. It doesn't have a lot of kill pressure, but it does heal your team and cut off like a zone. But I think it's not the strongest. Her healing output is good, and she is good if you're getting dove a lot and you need a character to survive. But I feel like if you're getting dove and you need to survive, just play Loki. His ultimate can literally copy anything in the game that's stronger than Cloak and Dagger's ultimate. He has an invulnerability. He can go invisible. He heals a lot. I mean, just pick Loki if you want to play Cloak and Dagger. But Loki is a little bit more complicated to play, so I know that's why people play Jeff and Cloak and Dagger, but she's strong, not the craziest. Wolverine, controversial. I'm not putting him in C tier. C tier is kind of like a meme. I'm gonna put Rocket like C+ tier. Almost not a meme if you have a team up. If you have a team up, Rocket's good in my opinion. But if you don't have a team up, don't play Rocket. I feel like Rocket is dog water unless you have a Punisher on your team. But with Wolverine, I have fought Wolverine one tricks, and he has one way of playing the game that makes him viable. And that is he will hide around a corner and then charge your tank. He does that like that flying, you know, the meme where it's like Wolverine flying in the air. He does that onto your tank. So he'll get behind your tank, launch you and like him and your tank into his team, and then kill them. That's literally the one way Wolverine, he's B tier, and he can be strong because he can kill your tank on repeat. And the amount of times I have seen my tank player die to a Wolverine one trick, just launching him into his team every fight is like infuriating. Like I would be calming. Hey, I'm playing Psylocke, I'm flanking. I can see Wolverine hiding behind this corner, waiting for you to push out so he can launch you into his team. And then my dumbass top 500, we're top 500, like GM. My GM tank runs by the Wolverine, and then the Wolverine just comes around the corner and then launches him into the Wolverine's team. And I'm like, bruh, you have to respect that one situation. If he couldn't like do that to your tank, he'd be like C tier. But a good Wolverine who can like really pressure the front line and then launch your tank and get him killed is actually not a bad hero. He can win games, believe it or not. But holy crap, this was a 30-minute long video rant. But yeah, this is going to be my tier list for Marvel Rivals now that I've been top 500 and GM. So yeah, tell me what you guys think. I know there's going to be a few controversial takes in this video, but in general, I think my tier list is pretty accurate. No D tier heroes. I think each hero isn't actively a throw. I think Black Widow is like C- tier. Like she is bordering that troll pick, but I do think she's a little bit better than throwing. So yeah, this will be my tier list. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, a comment, subscribe. It will help me out a lot. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm out.